Salutations, listeners.
Si balas valeo.
Baller Magulis.
Nanu. Thank you for tuning in. This is Three Men and a Basement, and we are the Ultra Crepidarians.
Heyo.
My name is Colin McLeod.
Action Jackson.
Mark Culp, now here.
He's just arrived.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
He missed the movie, and that's going to be a problem.
Not for me.
Does he really pay attention anywhere?
No, he does. Yeah, no, you're right. It's the same. It's the same. We're the same.
It's not like you can hear his opinions anyway.
Who are you?
Oh, man, you're so
God.
mean.
Yeah, you jackass.
We're
You jackass.
Bitch.
And I said,
Nice. In this podcast, we review movies. We've been known to, at least.
at least once or twice.
And we like to deliver to you an average schmuck's opinion about hidden gems in the wide world of cinema. If you're joining us for the first time, the way this works is we are going to give you sort of top-down specs on this movie up front in a spoiler-free way. After about 20-30 minutes,
We're going to spoil the shit out of it.
we're going to spoil this so bad.
You're gonna like it, I hope.
But don't worry, because we're going to blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Again, if you're new, that probably sounded more sexual than it is. It's a funny sound we make, and we let you know when...
Sometimes it's sexual.
It's all right. It's mostly sexual. Yes,
Mostly.
mostly. In spoiler territory, we'll give you our overview of the movie, along with our opinion, rating, maybe even a scene score or two, which is something that you've probably never even heard of because you're new here.
You haven't seen it.
And we invented it.
Hell yeah!
We made that shit.
Or did we discover it?
I think it was.
We
it was
planted our
discovered.
flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, is math really discovered or invented? Yes,
Right.
I agree.
We found it to be true.
We carved it out of rock.
Yes.
And in this podcast, we aim for movies that are not total blockbuster smashes. We also aim for ones that are not super duper obscure, things that you couldn't get your hands on a copy even if you were looking for it. Instead, we like to aim for that super nice sweet spot right in the middle. Ooh. Those that maybe you've heard of, maybe you saw a long time ago and you are wondering if they're worth a rewatch. We watch those movies and then deliver to you our opinion about whether or not you need to see them.
Sometimes you do.
And sometimes you don't.
And sometimes you feel like a nut. That was a commercial from back then. Jackson's laughing, but you can't hear him. Jackson got that reference.
Yep.
Mark also got that reference because he's not a child.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing.
On the inside.
On the inside. So, in this, the 58th...
Yeah.
8th?
That's how you say that.
The 58th episode of this podcast.
Wild.
We watched the movie...
Ingrid Goes West.
Ingrid Goes West.
Now, this is a sequel to Feifel Goes West.
Yes.
Yes, which is in turn a sequel to Gidget Goes Hawaiian.
Right.
Yes. Ingrid was going after Feifel, right?
Right, yeah. Ingrid
Maybe.
was following in Feifel's footsteps.
Because Gidget broke up with Fievel. And he was in a bad way.
Yeah, so Ingrid is, looking after her boy.
She is very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I think that's what we learned about in this movie.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
caring, kind, compassionate.
Nurturing even.
Yeah, selfless.
Cherries on this.
A big old pop over here.
Yep, this was a loud one.
I have seen this one time. Circa like a year or two ago.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the specs on this thing? When would this come out? What's it rated? Give me the stuff.
So Ingrid Goes West, 2017 film. It does kind of have a 2017 vibe. I
Yeah.
don't know if that, is
for
that,
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's in like the hints of oak, You can,
right.
Yeah.
A
It's
touch
texture.
of nuttiness.
Yep.
yeah.
Just like dabbles of vanilla.
It's a bit nutty.
It's a lot nutty.
It is a lot nutty. Rated R, thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah?
Not.
Dude, so yeah. What are you guys talking about? Yeah.
So, well,
This could have been a PG-13.
if they had dropped a few less F-bombs, I think they could have gotten away with it.
If I understand what you're saying correctly, I would say I agree that it would have been a very easy task to rewrite this as a PG-13 film. It would be very just like cut and paste, certain things. Like just remove certain things, add something else in its place. It's not the kind of movie where, it's wall-to-wall, where it's like, if you were to remove all the R shit,
Right.
it wouldn't be a movie. However, I would say this movie is categorically R.
Yeah.
I would give it a maybe 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10 in terms of R.
Oh, yeah, in terms of, hard R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 being the hardest of Rs, borderline X.
Now, how much do you think that, and obviously we're going to talk about this in spoilers, but certain plot points in the movie contributed to its R rating? So outside of, profanity and the things that you would typically, but just plot points. Do you think that factored into the rating?
I would say so, yeah.
Because I think that could be one of the things that potentially pushed it over.
Yeah, I think so, but again, like to your earlier point, I think they could have very easily pivoted into PG-13 territory, even though the concepts were like, these are fucking R concepts. Like, these are hard R concepts.
Right.
An hour and 38 minutes.
I felt like it was a good length.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be longer. I thought it was good.
It was basically perfect right where it landed.
Interesting. I felt like it dragged.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like it was a bit slow.
Okay.
I think I can, I'm curious to hear why you felt that way, but I've
Should
got
I-
some guesses.
Okay, let me rephrase that. An hour and 38 minutes, I feel like it felt that. I'm not saying it felt like 2 hours,
Oh, but that's not a good sign.
but it felt like an hour and 38 minutes was completely unreasonable for this movie. I feel like they could have gotten it done in like an hour and 20.
Okay, yeah.
Like, or less.
I think the sweet spot with a movie is you almost like want it to feel like it's too short because that leaves you wanting more, but then sometimes that works against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, like Braveheart's like, what, like a fucking 3-hour movie, but it's like...
Doesn't feel it.
It's just good the entire time. It feels like a long time because you've been sitting a long time, right? Like, you're not unaware that you just, like, experienced an epic movie, but you're not sitting there going like, oh, when's this thing gonna end?
Well, and like Lord of the Rings, like I will sit there and watch the extended versions without stopping because I love them.
Oh, yeah, those movies feel like they're 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
Dude, you can't even watch the theatrical anymore. It's
No.
fucking trash. Like...
Because I watched the theatrical and I'm like, oh, but they missed the best part.
Oh, you're not seeing the Wood Elves leaving. Yeah. Okay. So I felt like it dragged. Honestly, I felt like it was unnecessarily long.
It went beyond the tight 90.
Yes, and it should have been maybe even less.
So what kind of Ginrys we got here?
Definitely a one-man army, probably.
Well, obviously, I mean, it was Ingrid. Her name is in the title. She
Right.
was like a one-man army,
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
one-woman army, which should be its own title.
So we got drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was dramatic.
Some drama.
You went to drama. You went to drama.
How about this? Comedy.
No. I'm gonna plant my flag and say no on that.
You're going more dark comedy.
Ooh, you bastard. Ooh, you bastard.
Yeah. I feel like this is one that does, maybe you guys want to fight me, but I feel like this is a dark comedy.
See, I'm going to plant my flag and say comedy, yes. Dark comedy, no.
I am going to disagree with both of y'all and say this is neither a comedy nor a dark comedy.
So we're all
It
going
is a drama, and it is a, like... you know what's missing? Thriller.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a psychological thriller.
It really is, though.
And just because things have comedic elements doesn't make them comedies. And this movie had some levity, but the movie wasn't funny. It was not a comedic movie. It was a thrilling drama with comedic elements.
I mean,
it was just fucking...
I will say this. I laughed the entire time, but I laughed because I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
Is
that's
cringe comedy?
not... No, but see, the thing is, and actually, okay, that's a perfect... And I think we can do this in a spoiler-free way. That's it. The whole movie is tense, and while tension can play into comedy, tension alone is not comedy.
Right.
Like, I described this movie in some ways as, like, having that sort of Michael Scott cringe effect, but it just, like, never goes away.
Yeah.
And it never, like...
You never get to the punchline.
Yes, exactly. Like, with Michael Scott, they provide structure for the release of the tension, and that never happens here because it's not a comedy.
And that's...
The whole point is to make you uncomfortable the entire time.
Yeah, and maybe, I guess, yeah, all of my laughs, and I don't know if this, I don't want to speak for you, Jackson, but all of my laughs were that, like, tension and, like, needing to, like, I was kind of looking for an excuse to, like, laugh, you know?
Yeah, and that's not comedy. Like, just being tense and laughing because you're uncomfortable is not comedy. There were funny elements to this movie,
Yeah.
and they were delivered basically by one character. But, like, a character providing occasional levity once every 15 to 20 minutes does not a comedy make.
All right, you've pulled me off of my hill, but I'm not ready to join you on yours.
Okay.
You are in the valley below the hill.
You don't want that.
I'm in the kill zone.
You're in no man's land. Oh no, Jackson, get out of there! Get out of there! Run, run, run!
God, this is so awkward. I think this could be debated, though.
That's what we're here to do.
That's what we're doing.
Because, like, you squint your eyes, you turn your head, you don't really have to squint too hard. This is a terrifying thriller. But you could also not take it seriously and just enjoy the cringe.
I don't think the movie allows you to not take it seriously. Like, I think...
The movie takes itself seriously to the point where you can't escape from that.
Yeah. Like, you could not take the movie seriously, but then you're not watching it in good faith, right? Like, you're watching it like you would watch a B film. Right, like a B film, you can get enjoyment out of, like...
How bad it is?
Yeah, you can get comedic enjoyment out of it, even if the movie isn't a comedy, but it's not because the movie's a comedy, it's because you're making fun of it or you're reacting to it on a plane that the filmmakers didn't intend. This movie's the same way. It's like, I feel like in order to do what you're saying, you would have to elevate yourself to a point where you're no longer watching this movie in good faith.
That's fair. Now, would you hold that same position if the movie went in a different direction than it ultimately ended up going?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because
I think so.
There were beats in this movie that shifted my perspective on it in very significant ways.
I get the point you're driving at. Like, the sort of overarching perception of a film can be governed by what happens in, like, the last, 5 to 10 minutes. However, in my opinion, if the lion's share of a movie is a certain way, and then it's just not that way, I don't feel like that's enough to justify your perception of the entire movie, right? Like, just because, at the end of, like, Friday the 13th part, 26, Jason is just standing there holding balloons, and everybody's like, oh, man, it's our buddy Jay, and he's just like, and it's played off for laughs. Like, it doesn't mean he didn't just slaughter, like, 26 people over, like, an hour and a half.
This was a one-man army movie all along.
Like, it might be funny and awkward and weird, but it doesn't make the movie not a horror movie.
Right.
Like,
fair.
And a horror movie can be funny. I mean, Cabin in the Woods or...
Yeah, but, like, that's a perfect example of, like, what the ratio needs to be and when it needs to shift gears, because it cannot be with 10 minutes left.
No.
It cannot be, like, the closing sequence of a movie. But I think a very interesting point that you make there. Yeah.
I'm excited to spoil this. We're being super vague.
Yeah, we're being real cagey.
What the fuck is this movie about? Do we have a guy who can help us?
Oh, dude, so I do know a guy.
What's his name?
His name's Reed.
Oh, okay. That's a good name. I mean, for a guy who reads stuff, that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
What's his last name?
Description.
Okay. Is he Italian?
I've never asked.
It's like De Coco
You should
and,
ask him sometime.
Da Vinci and Description.
Well, but it's not DA, it's DE.
Oh.
So I think he might be like Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese, obviously, yeah. Do we know anybody who can do a very, like, a flawless Portuguese accent?
Yeah. So
you guys are talking about me.
Oh, that's our Portuguese buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm very Portuguese. You can tell by my accent. It's Portuguese and...
It's Portuguesean. He's doing a Portuguesean accent.
All right, let me put on my reading voice so you can hear me.
He sounds like a Portugueser. Oh, do you Portugueser?
Or a Portugoose.
Dude, Portugueser band name?
Oh, yeah.
Portugueser.
Yeah.
By the way, Mark, thanks. You lost his Portugal.
I feel like Portugueser would be like an all elderly cast of musicians that only do covers of Portugal the Man.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, you didn't go, like, you weren't on the nose with it.
Right.
I like it. Okay, he left.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Did we offend? Oh, man.
I'm going back now!
Oh,
okay. Thank God.
Oh,
all right, here we go.
We were going to be up shit creek without a paddle.
Without a geezer.
After her release from a psychiatric ward, a woman obsessed with social media moves to L.A. to... Fuck. Damn it, my screen went out.
Most people do that in LA.
Yeah.
That's why I would move to LA.
After her release from a psychiatric ward, a woman obsessed with social media moves to LA to stalk an Instagram star, but her plan takes a dark turn.
Ooh. Goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
They're goose and pimples.
Oh, actually, those are not. Those are duck bumps.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you need to get that looked at.
Oh, hang on, let me see. Jackson, those are herpes.
I was wrong.
Oh,
sorry.
So I shouldn't have put my hand in there.
You got the herpes.
God damn it.
Yep.
Not again.
You know what they say, Two in the hand, one in the bush.
Two in the hand, one in the bush.
When it comes to herpes.
When it comes to herpes, 2 on the hand is worth 1 in the bush. The single funniest thing that's been said on this podcast.
You know, the more I think about it, I think that's true.
2 on the hand is worth 1 in the push. Oh, it's funny because he's got herpes on his hand.
But we can just call it duck bumps. He's got some duck bumps.
I swear to God, if I know anybody that has herpes, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, you got the duck bumps.
I feel like you get duck bumps from duck bumping.
Yes. That's when you quack when you...
That's it. Yeah. What were you guys doing the other night? Oh, we were duck bumping.
Yeah.
Oh, check.
Yeah, rather than it's more like a...
I hope you wrapped it up, because otherwise you get the duck bumps.
And then it's a...
Yeah, then
Get a little boss nass in there.
I think you need a courtesy wipe.
Where the fuck are we going with this?
I don't know, but I'm really enjoying the 2 on the hand.
It's like
is
we
worth
drove
1 in
off
bush.
the road into a cornfield.
So, okay. Who the fuck's in this movie?
Well...
Wait, hang on. Was that a good description?
I like
I
it.
think so.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it covered it.
You know her, you love her, Miss Aubrey Plaza.
She's fantastic.
I
She's
believe
awesome.
it's pronounced Aubrey.
Oh, Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Yeah,
Plaza.
it's a strong U.
It is.
Oh,
Lead with the U, Jackson.
it's Portuguese.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah, probably.
What do we know Aubrey Plaza from?
Parks and Rec.
Plays April.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
For me, she's kind of typecast in that role. Like everything else she does, it's just her from Parks and Rec.
Though I will say, having seen interviews with her, I think that might just be her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is pretty great, though. Who else we got?
We've got the other Olsen.
Oh, yes.
Other Olsen. The hot Olsen.
You know,
Yeah.
what Mary-Kate and Ashley, are they under a rock now?
I don't know what they're doing, but they're not here. And you know who's here? Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She's a bit of a marvel, if you will.
She is.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was good.
She gets embarrassed very easily. She turns kind of scarlet.
Yeah. But you get her drunk, she's a real witch.
Yeah.
That's...
You might call her a scarlet witch. Wow, we walked a fucking long way to get there, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm a little puffed, but
Yeah,
we're
she's the
good.
Scarlet Witch from Marvel, is what we're saying.
Yeah. She's also been, I mean, her career's really taken off in the last, 15
Oh,
years-ish.
yeah. She's everywhere.
Oh, dude, also on our list with her is Martha, Marcy, May, and Marlene.
Okay.
Or, sorry, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. There's no and. But, yeah, it's like a fucking movie about a cult,
Oh,
and it's crazy.
very interesting.
Sounds good.
People who, study cults say, this movie, nailed it better than, any of them.
So it's a real feel-good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we also got to mention O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. O'Shea Jackson Sr., I did not mean to call you out.
O'Shea Jackson Sr. is Mr. QB Ice.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
QB Freezy.
Well, you said senior or junior?
Senior. O'Shea Jackson is Ice Cube. And O'Shea Jackson Jr. is his son. And,
Freeze box.
can we just
Yeah.
lay down our
absolutely.
for O'Shea Jackson
She's
Jr.?
hot.
Yeah, dude. That dude is handsome.
Yeah.
Handsome.
And extremely talented.
Oh, God. He's such a good actor, but he's also just, he's so good looking.
Yeah.
He's got a nice set of suspenders. I'm sure that he wears.
I don't think this guy owns a lot of suspenders.
Nah.
No, he's got really good crew
Or is that a
socks.
sexual thing?
Oh.
God, you know what?
Are you impressed by his suspenders?
No,
I kind of want to see his suspenders now.
I like the way the man wears a hat.
I like the way he's put together.
Yep.
I thought he was quippy.
I mean, he is that.
Who else we got? We got Kurt Russell's son. I'm sure he fucking hates that. Wyatt Russell.
The other Russell.
The other Russell. The Russellist.
The Russellist.
Russell Part 2.
What was he?
He was in Goon 2. He was in 22 Jump Street.
Dude, Overlord. That's what I
Yeah, he's an
recognize him
Overlord.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy.
he's been in a bunch of shit recently. Also, a very handsome fella.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a dude bro in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He has a tendency to play that kind of jockey dude bro, which is, I feel like I would find him a lot more attractive if he wasn't so broy. Which he might not be in real life, but in his movies he kind of is.
Yeah, and then up next, Billy Magnuson.
The dude bro.
The dude, bro.
I hate that character.
Oh my god.
That character was
This is the only thing I've seen him in, and
top 5 worst characters
I fucking
ever.
loathe him.
What I know him from is Rapunzel's prince from Into the Woods, playing directly across from Chris Pine. When they sing Agony together, it is fucking hysterical.
I never saw Into the Woods, like the movie adaptation that came out within, like, somewhat recently.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen the stage play that was, like, what, like early 90s?
Yeah, so the movie, I think, did a really good job, but
Bernadette Peters is
not
like,
good enough.
you can't.
And that's the thing. Like, you replace Bernadette Peters with Meryl Streep, it's just not going to translate the same way.
Yeah.
But I liked it. Other people that like Broadway didn't like it as much.
He also played like a chode mortgage broker in The Big Short.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to be known as.
I think he was the one who was like, do you remember the scene where like Schmidt from New Girl and this other like chody dude were like talking to them about all of these really fucking shady practices that they employ to like sell people mortgages that they can't afford.
Right.
And then they're like, why are they confessing? And then somebody's like, I don't think they're confessing. I think they're bragging. And yeah, I think he was the other guy in that.
Man, it fits.
Just the fucking worst.
It fits.
I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, but like his characters are the fucking worst.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that kind of covers it, unless
Yeah.
anything else like really jumped out at you guys.
There is one more that I'd like to mention, and that's Pom Klementif, who, not a recognizable name to me, but she played Mantis in
Did she?
Guardians.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so she's Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, and Thor, Ragnarok, and like, she's all over Marvel.
It's always tough being one of those actors that either gets famous for like a role where you're like in makeup, or some people have a tendency to just play a lot of roles in makeup, like Doug Jones.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like Doug Jones. Like, you would not recognize him in character.
You never see just Doug Jones by himself, but Doug Jones in all of these crazy fucking get-ups, all the time.
He's
like,
a legend.
Yeah. I've hugged him twice.
I definitely thought
Actually,
you said I fucked him twice.
I probably would,
well,
but I didn't.
Half. It was like once.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was once. He was in his suit, so it didn't count.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
Actually, I take that back. I did not hug him twice. He hugged me twice.
Oh, that's dope.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that like the best?
That's not something everybody could say.
No, I mean, it was like, yeah, it was at...
I would pay a ludicrous amount of money to shake his hand.
It was awesome. We were at Motor City Comic Con, and like, Doug Jones, hi! And he was like going from like one panel to another, and he like ran up and hugged us all.
That's amazing.
And then we just happened to still be standing in that spot when he was on his way back from the...
So he hugged you again?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That would be the best day ever.
I still haven't showered, and that was in like 2011.
I can smell the Jones.
Yeah, it's
I can smell the Jones.
I keep that stank as like a reminder.
It's a deep Doug.
Is Deep
like that?
Doug, is that a band name?
I feel like it might be.
Is it?
I mean,
you got a Deep Doug?
We're right out of the gate here, but a deep Doug.
Deep Doug?
I mean, it's not a shallow dig.
I feel like Deep Doug has got to be like related to Juggalo Tim,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, I'm Deep Doug. Oh my God, I don't want to meet Deep Doug.
You sounded real interested in Deep Doug.
Well,
a second
no, because
ago.
I gave him a voice, and like I realized
Now he's real.
I was intimidated.
Yeah, they called him Deep Doug for a reason.
He's
kind
got
of thing.
huge hands, and they're very warm.
Yeah, hands. That's what he's got. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Big,
And
warm
also-
hands.
Are they
How-
wet?
They could be.
And how are his hands touching Mark's butt crack while they're both on his shoulder?
I didn't say
They're
anything
very
about.
wet now.
I didn't say anything about the crack. Okay. All right. It was outer thigh at most. Okay.
Just remember,
get off it.
2 in the hand is worth 1 in the bush.
2 on the hand.
2 on the hand. That's what it was. Yep.
2 on the
2
hand.
on the
There's
hand.
one in it. Like how far in the bush?
Dude, Deep Doug is gonna give you the fucking.
What? How do you think he got his name?
He's gonna give you the duck bumps.
What
the
are
Doug bumps.
The Doug bumps.
Good God.
so? We're still talking here. Would you guys recommend this movie?
Yes.
Quick guess.
Yes.
No.
You? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Are we still in the bit?
No, we're not on the bit.
You don't recommend the movie?
No, I actually do not recommend this movie.
Sweet.
No, I'm gonna like plant my flag and say,
All right.
not a chance.
This is going to be fun.
This, and that's not to say there aren't a lot of elements of this movie that I actually do like. I don't recommend this movie for a number of reasons, but
We'll get there.
it has redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
I'll lay it at that.
If I'm using similar criteria, I'm glad to have seen it. I would recommend it because I've not seen anything quite like it.
I can accept that.
I'm going to give that like a half chub. Did it get my chub?
I don't think so.
Didn't feel the chub. Is it in yet?
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
It's like a tuna can. It's wider than it is long.
It's about persistence, Jackson. It's about persistence and WD-40.
Row, row, row your boat.
I think I'm going to recommend it. I could be persuaded otherwise.
Okay.
So, would we say like a 1.5 recommend?
Sure.
That's like right down the middle of a 3-man band.
I'm very interested to know if you had to come down on a side.
If I had to come down on the side, I'd probably say recommend.
Okay.
But I feel like I have an idea of what some of the cards in your hand might be, and I feel like I will agree with.
Now, would you say general audience?
General audience? No, because of plot points that we'll talk about later.
But just for that?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I had an okay time.
All right. Okay.
I didn't like every petal of this flower.
Curious metaphor. Go ahead.
But yeah, we need to spoil it because this movie is good for the spoilins.
Cool.
Are you saying we need to blah, 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 blah? You went full Scatman Jones on us, yeah.
Scatman Doug Jones.
Scatman Doug Jones.
Scatman Jones.
Fuck, man, I really want to write that down. As
Right?
Scatman Doug Jones.
You already got a deep Doug in there, though.
Huh?
You already got a deep Doug.
I already got a deep Doug. We already touched on the Doug.
Yep.
Or the Doug touched on
Yeah.
us.
Would you call that Doug step? I don't know. I'm just floating it, you know?
Oh.
Just curious.
Doug Step. Fuck.
I'm thinking like Dugbert, or was it Dogbert? What was that? What was that cartoon?
Dilbert?
Dilbert? Look, okay.
Dugbert?
I want you to look in my eyes. I don't care.
Lubin. Look me in my eyeball. The zebra and the hippo. Anybody? Along came Polly?
Oh, shit.
Dude, fucking Hank Azaria.
Yeah. Oh, man. I've only seen that movie like twice.
Speaking of movies.
Yeah.
How does this movie start?
It starts with Ingrid sitting in her car, crying her mascara off her face while looking at her friend Charlotte's Instagram.
Her friend.
As Charlotte is live posting her wedding, to which Ingrid was not invited. And Ingrid decides that it's a really good, healthy, safe idea to get out of her car, approach Charlotte and say, hey, thanks for inviting me to your wedding, and pepper sprays the bride.
It's bold.
She also, I believe, drops the C word.
Yes, she did.
She's happy about it.
Yeah.
She's happy about it.
She's in a good place.
She's into it.
That is fucking wild. And you know what? This is super unhealthy, and you will judge me for saying this, but like, the audacity to walk into someone's fucking reception and pepper spray the bride.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's crazy.
Wait, why are we going to laugh at you for that? The audacity?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, you know, like, I kind of wish I had that confidence.
Were you hoping that we were going to dissent an opinion on whether or not it's appropriate to pepper spray a bride?
I'm flirting with the idea of saying that I look up to that kind of boldness, you know? I don't have...
you were... okay, I get it now. You were into the boldness.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just like, call me a fucking wacko, but I don't like pepper spraying brides on the wedding day.
No. The opposite.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good. The picture is becoming clearer now.
Why you should judge me?
Yes, I understand now why.
I'm
I got confused because I thought you weren't a monster.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I don't have the conviction about anything the way she did about pepper spraying a bride on her wedding day.
Yeah, but what about a good laugh?
Like,
you know what? You're underestimating that, Jackson.
I mean, you're right.
You're not considering all the possibilities.
I mean, I would have gone much more understated, personally, and, like, probably sprayed pepper spray into her champagne or something. So
yeah,
or she'd, like, puke her guts out.
Or a fart bomb.
Or a fart bomb. That's always a classic. Stink bomb.
They are pretty great.
Yeah.
Just maybe some poison. I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know where I got these, but I still have stink bombs from like 1998.
Amazing.
Like the glass ones?
In the other room, the full-on glass ones.
Oh.
Like...
Dude, my dad used to drop them bitches in a Farmer Jack, and we would drop it walking in, get our shit, and then complain to the cashier as we were leaving about how terrible it smelled.
Oh my god, that's amazing and despicable.
I know.
That is like, but
that's a good memory.
Having met your father, that's very
on brand?
apropos.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Do you smell that, Mark? What the hell is that?
As a lover of like toilet humor, I gotta say, every once in a while when we were working at the theater, like some just jag-off kids would like fucking break a bunch of stink bombs in the theater. And I gotta say, like, it was a little funny.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, I'm sitting here going like, I gotta fucking clean up this whole thing through this thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm the fucking derpy guy in the bow tie and shit. But like...
You respected it.
But yeah, I was like, fucking game respect game.
Yeah. Yeah. So she pepper sprays this bride. I mean, they don't really go into it too much, but I think in the next scene, she's in the
She's in the psych ward.
Yeah, she gets fucking tackled.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
Fair. Yeah, she gets tackled by presumably part of the wedding party.
Yeah.
The usher.
Took that bitch down.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, you're not supposed to do that.
No.
So, whatever.
Rules, am I right?
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Decorum, what's
Social
that?
conventions, like, fuck.
So she gets out, and they actually do an interesting bit of environmental storytelling. She gets home, and you see a medical bed, like a gurney, whatever, and it pans also over to an urn. So very quickly, without telling you, it shows you that, she was living with someone important in her life, and that person passed. And that person passed long enough ago that she's in an urn, but she hasn't done anything with the gurney. So, like, it just kind of shows that... it wasn't really clear on the timeline. How long was she in the psych ward?
Okay, so it must have been a while because basically, like, the bits of information we have was her mother died, and this girl, Charlotte, was the only one to comment on her post that her mother died, and that started the obsession that she had with her. And so the obsession must have taken at least, I would say, a couple months, right?
Yeah.
And then the wedding happened and the chaos happened, and then she was in the psych ward how long? For at least a couple months, right?
It said 3 weeks.
Was it 3 weeks? So that was like 90 days. Anyway, she was in the psych ward for a while. So, like, I mean, this must have been at least 4 or 5 months. And she hadn't basically done anything with
her hospital bed was still there. Her medications were untouched. Mm-hmm. Like, it was,
Okay, so there's like a montage, more or less, of her just doom scrolling and liking posts until she runs across Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
She discovers Taylor in a magazine because there was some article being done on this Instagram influencer. And there was a little puff piece in one of those shitty rag magazines about Taylor.
About how Taylor is like the best friend that you wish you had. Like she's so great. She's like
she's the best.
She is like my messiah.
Like I totally love her.
# be best.
Live your best life. Listen, if you are not living your best life, you're not living your truth, okay?
Like, go kill yourself, Charlotte. God. What are those? Nikes?
Like, when was the last time that you had a cauliflower samosa?
Wait, what was with the Nikes? Was that like a fucking... was that a Heaven's Gate reference?
Should be. Oh my God.
Okay. So she basically develops this unhealthy obsession with Taylor.
Which it's very clear is coming on the heels of an unhealthy obsession with Charlotte.
Yep. There's a pattern.
There's a pattern.
Yep. She's looking at and connecting the dots with her social media posts. She's figuring out where Taylor lives. In one of Taylor's posts, she talks about a restaurant. And so she gathers up the money that she inherited from her mother's passing, $60,000.
Yep.
And, you could say she goes west.
Yeah.
Yeah. West of where she was, sure.
Yeah. Goes to this restaurant, and, I mean, you kind of get the idea that she's just looking for Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically just
stalking her.
Hoping to bump into her.
Yeah, she's going to her favorite places that she's posted on Instagram, and she is cyber stalking this person.
Oh, back up a little bit. I know we don't need to go through all of the weeds, but I think this is kind of important. In that doom scrolling montage, whatever, she comments on one of Taylor's posts, and Taylor responds.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was important to call out because I think that was the catalyst for like her thinking, "Oh, we're friends now."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that like motivates her to literally move across the fucking country to be closer to this person who she has interacted with one time
on the internet.
Yeah. Not even interacted. Like, really just, like, shouted down a hallway and got an echo back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing.
Like, somebody leaves, like, a note on the communal work fridge. Hey, whoever's got the Lightning McQueen lunch bag, I love cars. And you're like, oh, they're talking about me. We're best friends now. Me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live their life.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And that's exactly, we're in spoiler territory. That's exactly how this goes down.
Yeah, that's the entire movie, basically.
Like,
Yep.
Ingrid adopts Taylor's personality and decides to like everything she likes.
Yeah. She uses her posts to find what clothes to wear, what hair color to have, what purse to buy. Yeah, it's... now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually terrifying.
Yeah, it's legitimately terrifying.
Dude, do you guys remember Don't Take This Candy?
Oh,
That
yeah.
website? Dude, those fucking... Mark, you don't remember that?
I did not.
So it was a website from, like, I want to say, like, 2005? Something like that?
Probably.
2008? Something like that? And, well, it was really well done. Basically, the premise was, like, you would log in with your, like, I think your Facebook account or your MySpace or some shit. And, like, it was this pre-recorded video that had, like, elements of it change based on your shit. Like... And it was this, like, sweaty, nasty dude who was, like, finding all of this information about you, would find your house, would, find all your stuff, and show him, like, getting into a fucking, like, car and driving to your house, and the last image would be your house. And it was, like, it was hella creepy. It's a little less creepy when you've seen it, like, 15 times, and you're like, this is the same video, thank fucking God. But, like, it is, like... designed to sort of illustrate, even in fucking 2005 or whatever it was, 20 fucking years ago, how much people can find about you.
With very little effort.
Yeah. And this video, like, images, pictures of you, and it would show them in, like, the reflection of this, like, middle-aged, sweaty white guy's glasses as he's just, like, salivating over your
that's
post.
horrifying.
And it's really gross. It's effective.
Yeah.
I mean, like, 20 years on, I'm still fucking thinking about it.
I think the scariest part about this movie is that none of it is unbelievable. Like, it's all...
Oh, this could absolutely happen.
I mean,
This is happening.
This absolutely has happened.
Yeah.
And is probably currently happening, to Mark's point.
Yeah.
And I think one of the movie's points is, like, to a greater and lesser degree, right? Like, Ingrid's obsession is dangerous and unhealthy in, like, a pathological way, but it sort of points out, not to, like, jump to the end, but it sort of points out that, like, even the person she was obsessing over is doing this exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Basically just on a slightly different level, but the same fucking thing.
Yeah, just further along in her journey.
In her pursuit of crafting an online presence that she's trying to use to supplant her real life.
She's selling herself to the masses by cultivating a persona that is palatable.
And stolen from other people who she knows have successfully used these particular elements.
Yep.
Which is interesting, really. Like, this is why I think I would recommend this movie, just because there's a lot in here that feels very real.
There's a lot to unpack, I'll give you that. And that's one of the things I did like, is like, this movie didn't not have something to say. This movie...
A lot to say.
It's not that it wasn't, like, impactful or dripping in layers of social commentary and sort of begging introspection of the viewer.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are other things.
And I feel like it's even more relevant now. I mean, this movie came out 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys seen that thing that's like, we used to go on the internet to escape from real life. Now we experience real life as an escape from the internet.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when the internet was something that you did?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
would go over to your friend's house and just, like, punch in, like, dirty phrases on fucking Alta Vista or
And
Ask
then giggle
Jeeves.
about it.
Yeah, and be like, hey, boobs, yeah.
Yeah.
That picture took 11 minutes to load.
Right.
Yeah, it was a place that you would go to that you could then leave.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw something relatively recently that made me laugh because it was in the early days of the internet. Your parents would say, don't talk to strangers, don't get in someone's car, and don't get on the internet without supervision. And now you can go on the internet without supervision and order a stranger to get in their car.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also...
Like, you can go on Uber and book a stranger and get in a stranger's car.
And that's not seen as irresponsible.
And that's not seen as irresponsible.
That's you
And-
getting to work.
And in the early days of the internet, that would have been like, hey, I started this website where you can just hire a stranger to come to your house and pick you up
That'll
and
never
get in
catch
their
on.
personal vehicle.
No one would
They
ever
would
do
be
that.
like, you're fucking crazy.
along those lines, I love that one that was like, my parents in 1997, the internet is dangerous, do not talk to anybody and do not believe anything that anybody says on it. My parents in 2020, Freedom Eagle 76 on the internet says that Hillary Clinton invented AIDS.
I'm not saying it's true.
I'm just saying they raise interesting points.
I was in Aldi the other day, and this dude was talking very loudly on his phone, and it just made me laugh because he's talking to presumably a friend of his, and he's like, "Oh, so you saw that on Reddit? Okay, well, I mean, yeah, it's on Reddit, so it has to be true."
Facts.
Obviously.
And like, clearly
He said it unironically?
No, clearly he was being facetious.
Oh, okay.
But it was just one of those situations where I was like, I've said that exact thing where I'm like, oh, you saw it on the internet? Then it must be true.
The nice thing about the internet, though, is like that you're not allowed to lie on it.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine the fucking shit show that the internet would be if you were allowed to tell lies on it?
Oh, yeah, dude, if you could just say anything you want.
It would be horrific.
Yeah.
If you're a cop, you legally have to tell me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the law.
That is the law.
I read that on Reddit.
Damn, you beat me to it. I was about to say that. I read that on Reddit. Yeah. Okay, so Ingrid is now officially West. Ingrid, played by Aubrey Plaza. She is obsessing over
Taylor Sloan.
Played by
Elizabeth Olsen.
The Olsen.
The
Olsen.
Other Olsen.
The one who couldn't nail down an accent for 2 movies and then just gave up.
Yeah.
I love her, but it was bad.
It's fine.
Ingrid needs a place to stay, so she decides to rent out this random apartment, rented out by O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Dan Bittner
is his character's
No,
name.
It's Dan Pinto.
It is Dan Pinto, because
Yeah.
I remember she said Pinto, and it caught my ear, and I was like, oh yeah,
I've heard of that.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Like the bean. Or the exploding car.
Yeah.
So that's how he gets connected. She is renting an apartment from him. And then Wyatt Russell plays the husband of Elizabeth Olsen's character,
Ezra.
Yeah. So, as you do when you're young and you're trying to meet new people, she steals her dog.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
And
She sneaks into her house and steals her dog. I mean, that's how you make friends.
And then you just, you politely wait until they put up posters, and
Yeah.
then you call it.
You wait a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called a pickup line.
Yeah.
Okay? A pickup dog.
A pickup dog.
A pickup dog.
It's not good. You don't want to do that.
A pickup pooch, if you will.
But she did it, and it worked out.
Yeah.
It was great.
That plan worked out way better than I thought it was going to.
Somebody could have died.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so she's got her in, and now she is just over the moon. She's saying all the right things because she's spent the last couple of months researching.
But she's still, like, so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
And it's so uncomfortable the entire time because,
Yeah.
like, again, she's the kind of person who, I hate to say this, but, like, we've all met these people that where, like, they don't have a personality, so they need to glom on to, like, the other personalities around them. And, like, she's the kind of person where you can audibly hear and physically see the cracks in her ability to sort of adopt aspects of the people's personality around her.
Yeah, you
Like,
see the facade break down.
yeah. It's like the difference between somebody like wearing a full costume that covers them head to toe and somebody wearing like pieces of a costume, and you can see like between those
Like,
things.
clearly you're dressed as Iron Man, but it's made out of cardboard and spray painted together.
Exactly. Yes. And she's so fucking awkward, but they don't see through it.
No, because she knows how to manipulate people.
I see, kinda. Like, there are some people who are like masters of manipulation. She is not that. I think she tries so fucking hard to manipulate. I think she really gives it all her effort, and it just sort of kind of works.
I would say I agree with both of you, and here's why. She is a master manipulator, but only because she does an extensive amount of research. It is not innate.
Right.
There are people
Yes.
that can just take a 30-second snapshot of you and know exactly how to get you to do what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
She is not that. She is a master manipulator because she has sat down, she has studied, she has done her homework.
Obsessed.
She knows where she eats, where she sleeps, what she reads, what she wears. She knows exactly what to say to get to where she wants.
I would say, like, one of the aspects of her personality that does allow her to be close to a master manipulator is, like, she is quite literally willing to do anything.
Yep.
And, like, most people, even people who manipulate, have limits on what they're willing to do and engage with.
Yeah, she'll put anything together to get whatever she wants.
Yes. And most people would be like, okay, that's a bit much. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Like paying $1,200 for a painting that you don't even like to get your foot in the door.
I mean, hashtag squad goals.
Hashtag squad goals.
Yeah, I've got them. Okay, so back to the narrative here.
They have dinner, they drink wine, she buys a painting, they celebrate. Yeah. Friendship solidified.
Yeah, she's in their good graces. All the while, she's getting... Well, she doesn't really get close to Dan.
Not until she needs him.
Yeah, she leverages things that he has. She needs a truck at one point, and so she borrows that under the agreement that she'll be back by 6, and then she'll play a character in his...
Table read.
His table read, yeah. She ends up coming back the next day, and the truck is all fucked up.
Yeah, she's done $8,000 worth of damage to the truck.
And all of the cocaine he had in his glove compartment.
Yeah.
That's rude.
You know, it's just inconsiderate.
Right? At least replace it.
Churlish.
Or you know what, Mark? You're right. It is churlish.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think the other principal character that we've got to mention before we start to, like, tie things together, we meet... Is it Nikki?
Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky is Taylor's brother, and Nicky is the scum of the earth.
Yeah, played by Billy Magnuson.
The worst fucking person.
Oh my
you can
God.
Imagine.
Yeah, he's got...
Like, imagine the frattiest frat boy, and then add, like, cocaine and...
Bad karate.
And all the monies.
Yeah. So Nicky's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
One that's hard to flush.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely that big hoss of a fucking piece of shit where you flush and it doesn't go down and you're like, you son of a bitch, you son of a bitch,
the
go down,
water
go down.
goes down around it, but it's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. It doesn't even clog the toilet, it just doesn't go anywhere.
And of course, it's got to be at like your friend's parents' house that this is happening.
Yeah.
The entire party is just waiting for you to get out of the toilet.
And
like,
the more toilet paper you throw in there, the worse the problem gets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't even have a poop knife that you can like, you know, cut it up and...
No, you gotta have a poop knife.
Gotta have a poop knife.
Everybody's got a poop knife.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
This is why you're having a bad day.
Rum ham.
God damn it, Frank. He is definitely a caricature, you know?
Oh my God!
Wait, I don't smell it yet. I don't smell it. You're my canary. It's bad? Keep breathing. Let me know when it's gone. Filter. Jackson. Filter. Breathe. Everybody. Just get it out.
It's in my mouth.
It's not in mine yet. Keep breathing. I know you might think it's selfish, but I don't want to smell it.
Those shit crystals are just growing.
God! You taste your colon, Colin.
I don't want to taste it.
My colon, Colin?
Yes.
I don't even smell it.
Fuck.
Is that what you named it? It's my inner Colin.
What died in you?
I don't know. I didn't even smell it.
Fuck.
It's probably for the best.
It must have kind of like blown out and then
it all hit me. Rat bastard.
God damn it.
Jesus. All right. Billy Magnuson, Nicky, piece of shit.
Caricature.
Yeah.
They end up going to this like pool party or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Nicky gets a hold of Ingrid's phone.
Yeah.
And figures out how depraved she truly is. And then blackmails her. You need to give me $5,000 every month or I'm going to tell Taylor all about your craziness.
And by this point, two things have also happened. Ingrid has developed, let's say, kind of a friendship with Taylor. They have hung out a number of times.
And they've done the basic bitch besties.
Yeah. Hashtag besties.
Hashtag besties.
If you don't hashtag it, then it's like, it's not even real.
Hashtag squad goals.
And then also, Ingrid, in order to convince these people who don't even like her that she actually has a boyfriend because she doesn't want them to think she's lying, which she is, she seduces O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character Dan and basically turns him into her boyfriend in order to not be a liar to these people.
Which she is.
Which she totally is. So at this point in the story, they're quote-unquote dating, but it's like a complete farce. She doesn't even like him. She's doing it basically just to keep up appearances with this friend group that is quickly getting away from her.
Yeah, she's singularly focused on Taylor.
And Taylor, at this point, has lost interest and become singularly focused on the next big fish.
Which is Harley Chung.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played by...
Mantis.
Yeah.
And so Taylor is like sort of chasing this bigger fish. Basically, Taylor is doing exactly what Ingrid is doing to Taylor. She's doing it to the next person.
Yep. So, going back here, after Nikki has blackmailed Ingrid, Ingrid then manipulates Dan into kidnapping Nikki and threatening his life with a paintball gun that he does not know is a paintball gun.
In the hopes that they will scare the shit out of him to the point where they will secure the phone and not be beholden. And basically, he's got leverage over her, and she's basically like, we're gonna kill you if you don't give up.
Right.
Which he doesn't react to at all because he's a fucking psychopath and he's also coked out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
So he's like getting kidnapped at gunpoint and he's like still making his little shitty chode dude bro comments.
Yep.
I mean, I would say, like, shit goes sideways, but, like...
It's been sideways for a while.
It went backwards.
Yeah, but, like, nobody died. I thought in that moment that someone was going to die and that the tone and tenor of the movie was going to change drastically.
Well, I think the intent was to leave you believing that she had killed Nick.
Yeah, 100%. She hits him in the back of the head with a crowbar.
With a tire iron, yeah.
He should be dead.
Yeah, and so then she's in the hospital with Dan, who's been beaten to shit by Nikki, and she gets a call from Taylor. And Taylor's like, yeah, we haven't seen Nikki in a couple days. We're getting worried about him. And she's like, oh yeah, he probably flew off to Paris.
Yeah.
Which was a funny joke.
Right.
Comedy.
And Taylor...
Comedy. Dark comedy.
Yeah, and there is romance, so you could even argue...
It's definitely a rom-com.
Yeah. So Taylor...
Don't get me started.
basically gives up, and she's like, yeah, you're probably right. He went to Paris. Okay, yeah, I'm cool. We're good. And then she gets a call from her mom. She's like, hold on, I'm getting a call from my mom. I gotta go. And so that's the last we hear from Taylor for a while.
For like a day or two.
Yeah.
For like a day. It was like the next day, she starts getting posts from Taylor that she just needs to get away. So she starts posting pictures from Joshua Tree and all this stuff. And so Ingrid leaves O'Shea Jackson Jr. in the hospital while unconscious to drive out to Joshua Tree to try to chase Taylor down and be like, haha, I'm not a psychopath, we're best friends.
And I think she did it to get in front of the story so that she could be on the front end of whatever news hit Taylor about Nikki.
I think there's a piece of that, but to be honest, I interpret it a little differently. Like, I interpret it a little bit more like addiction. Like, she just needed one more Taylor fix. Just one more.
Yeah.
Just one more Taylor. And I feel like this is illustrated at one point in a couple scenes from now where, like, she's obsessive and she's, like, got her phone in her hand constantly and she literally, like, stays in the fetal position on the ground with her phone in her hand until it runs out of battery.
Hitting refresh.
It just over and over and over. It's like she just needs one more. But yeah, anyway, so she is out in Joshua Tree. Eventually she calls Taylor. She's trying to bump into her casually. And she ends up calling Taylor. Taylor's husband picks up and is basically like, Taylor doesn't want to fucking see you. Leave us alone.
Nikki told us everything.
Yeah, like, we know what happened and you're a fucking psycho. Stay away from us.
Yeah, yep. Which she does not.
No.
Which is weird because she seems so reasonable.
Right? Yeah, I mean, she's a perfectly level-headed, rational thinker.
Yeah, she goes so far as to, like, use the last of her money to, like, put a down payment on a home that is right next to their getaway spot so that she can, like, watch them from the window.
And going, like, even deeper than that, this was a home that Taylor had confessed in secret she was planning on buying to turn into a business venture. And so this might be speculation, but my thought was, in that moment, that Ingrid was not only trying to secure an easy access point to Taylor, but was also essentially securing leverage in that if she could walk back into that friendship, she could then
use it as a bargaining chip.
Give it as a bargaining chip and be like, hey, I didn't want this to go to somebody else, so I made sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure she had machinations.
I'm sure that she had a backup plan, but we never got that far.
No. So she spent all of her money securing this home. The lights go out. She can't pay any bills.
So basically, she's living the American dream like so many of us, right?
Yeah, where she has a home that she has to live in squalor.
Yeah, exactly. At least she's got a roof over her head while she starves to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you need, you know? Okay. So Taylor is having a party.
A Halloween party.
Ingrid decides to go to this party. I think she used the excuse that she needed to charge her phone but she was just trying to get closer,
Yeah.
realistically. She's found out, confronted very publicly, and ends up going back home to her shack.
Yeah, they're like getaway spots in like Joshua Tree. So like these are not houses. These
It's
are not
like a
places you
bungalow.
live. Yeah, it's like a single floor. It's like maybe 600 square feet or
Yeah.
something like that.
It's like a lake house without a lake.
Yes, exactly. It's got a toilet and a sink and electricity, and that's kind of about
And
it.
an open room.
And an open room, yeah.
So she decides to kill herself.
Yep. Downs a bottle of what I can only assume was some sort of sleeping pill or pain meds,
Something she knew would kill her.
Something she knew would kill her, and washes it down with a beer.
Yep. And then records herself doing it, has this like big emotional, this is the real me, and, I can't fake it anymore, blah, blah, blah. This big like character defining moment. Then she passes out because she just, downed a bunch of pills. Wakes up in a hospital. Dan happens to be nearby. Not happens to be. He's there waiting for her. Like he's
He's in the same hospital.
Yeah.
Because he got put there because of her actions.
because of her actions.
Yep.
He rolls into the room because he's now in a scooter and
rascal.
she's surrounded by balloons. Apparently her last post, where she attempted to kill herself, really struck a chord with the internet.
Yeah.
Went viral. Now she's got friends and she's got support and she's got a boyfriend. And then the credits roll.
So she's basically Hawk to a girl.
Yep.
I cannot get over the fact that this monster of a person effectively killed herself
On the internet.
and then she wins.
Yep.
And there's no lessons learned
Nope.
Uh-huh.
at all. Nobody turns a page.
She never
Nobody
saw
grows.
the error of her ways.
No.
There was no attempt to correct, She now has a limitless supply of attention
And validation.
and validation, which is everything she has been seeking.
I think I agree with your guys' perspective on this. I think there is an argument that could be made by somebody else, not me, that all she had to do to gain that respect and validation and all that blah blah blah
Was to be
was
honest.
be herself.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking hogwash, but I do think there's going to be a class of people out there that watch this and take that away from it.
Yeah.
I think like the suicide aspect is fucking ridiculous.
Dark as shit.
And, like, if that's the point you want to make, the suicide angle is unnecessary. But also, like, there is no fucking recompense for, like, what she's done. Like,
No.
She committed so many crimes, some of them federal, and got away with it.
And she didn't learn a goddamn thing.
Not one.
Like, even in the last scene, like, okay, can we just, do you want to just transition? That's roll credits.
yeah,
Yep.
roll credits, yeah.
Let's transition to likes and dislikes. And I kind of want to roll into dislikes first. I know that's like
Okay,
wildly inappropriate.
Wow.
But I'm on
Get
a
him,
roll.
Jackson. Get him, Jackson.
I'm on a roll.
Can't believe you do that.
Dude, they could have, in that last scene where she's looking at it, she could have, like, closed her phone and been like, you know
Yep.
what, I learned. Just anything.
Yeah.
Anything, Or it would have been better had she, like, had this, like, epiphany, it's gonna sound crazy, killed herself and been successful.
Yes,
And then the
yes.
moral of the story is, don't be Ingrid.
Yes. Honestly, that would have been a pretty powerful ending. It's like she kills herself, and then her fucking Instagram blows up, and like the last shot is like tight focus shot of her phone just going fucking crazy, and all of these friend requests coming in. Yeah.
Bidding.
And all she had to do was be honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And be herself.
It wasn't the killing yourself that did it. It was the I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, and here's my thought. This could have ended exactly the way it ended, with one small tweak, which you mentioned it, which is to put down her phone. And, like, all it would have taken was for her to have that moment of seeing the outpouring of support and then putting down her phone and turning her attention to Dan. Not even saying a word, but looking at the one person that is in the room that is responsible for her being alive.
And who has just been like a complete sweetheart through this whole thing.
Yeah!
Like a good dude.
Like, at the very beginning, I definitely thought Dan was gonna be a douchebag.
He's the only good person in this entire
Yeah.
movie. Everybody else is a piece of shit.
And here's the thing, compared to other people, Dan would probably be considered a douchebag.
But he's the best
But
of
ev-
the lot.
He's
But-
the nicest
but everybody-
douchebag you'd ever meet.
Yeah.
I'd hang out with Dan.
I would hang out with
Dan
Dan.
and
I
Dan and
would
I
go
would
to
be friends.
Six Flags with Dan.
Dan and I would be friends.
Yeah, if he could put his vape down for about 10
Oh
minutes.
my god, dude, this guy, every single scene, he's just got, like,
Clouds!
puffing out constantly. It was a bit.
It was.
Yeah. So this is why I'd asked about the recommendation and the plot points. You know, this is not a movie that I think my daughter should watch.
Nope.
You know?
I agree. I think people are going to like potentially take the wrong message, especially if they're not like peering too closely at the other aspects of this film. I feel like somebody who is not looking at it critically could come away with the wrong conclusion. The other way I thought this potentially could end was like, and I would have preferred that, as fucked up as it sounds, like if she had like actually killed one of them or many of them. Like, I'm not saying it would have been good from like a moral standpoint, but my issue,
a better movie.
It would have been a better movie. Yes, exactly.
It would have pushed past that psych thriller bit.
Yes. Well, no, it would have.
And gone straight into like actual bona fide psychological thriller territory.
Yes, it would have. It would have clinched it as a thriller, not because it didn't have all the elements of a thriller, which I still would call it a thriller.
Yeah.
But like comedy, thrillers need that release of tension.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, they build it for much longer. But then there's still a fucking release. There's still a lever that gets pulled where it's like, this is the climax, shit is happening, people are dying, or, people are getting arrested, or whatever the fuck conclusion you're going to come to. And, like, they could have done that so easily with this film, and instead they just, like, let the tension run right to the credits and then should never get resolved. And I just, like, I loathed that.
Yeah, it's
I
like
did not like that at all.
It's like pulling on the bowstring all the way until it's notched back behind your ear, ready to go, and then you just go...
Cut to black.
Cut to black. Yeah, and you're just like, fuck!
Nikki's character was, like, ripe for the murdering.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they built him up as, like, an irredeemable scumbag that you wanted to see get killed.
Multiple times, I was like, oh my god, she's gonna kill Nikki.
I wanted her to kill Nikki.
Yeah.
I wanted something terrible to happen. But you know what? Nikki ended up being...
the victim!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because...
And that's exactly what he looked like, was the victim. And he was a completely irredeemable piece of shit.
Yep.
Like... And it's like, it wasn't just Ingrid that was a piece of shit in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
No, Taylor's a piece
of shit. Taylor is a
Ezra's
fucking
a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
The only one that's not a piece of shit is Dan.
Yeah. All of those characters should have had their comeuppance. And, like, fine, you want to leave a couple of them off with this, like, oh, I'm sure I'm sure Taylor learned a lesson now that her brother is murdered.
Yeah.
Fine. Whatever. Like...
Don't trust strangers on the internet.
She's a piece of shit, but, like, she learned her lesson when her brother got, like, hacked to death because he fucking tried to blackmail a psychopath.
While he was coked out of his mind.
Yeah, fine. But the fact that nobody learned any lessons, like...
No.
See, to me, that's one of the main reasons why I would not recommend this movie, just in general. Like, first of all, to myself, because I fucking hate tension so much. I hate it so much. And when shit's really awkward, I get really uncomfortable. Like, I struggle with Michael Scott. And I'm going to say something that is probably going to make you guys hate me. And it's probably going to make all my listeners hate me. And I don't fucking care.
All right.
I love the last couple of seasons of The Office when Michael Scott was not there because there was less of the tense, awkward humor. I'm not saying I don't like the Michael Scott seasons. I love them. They're amazing. But the characters were developed and there is no fucking cringe comedy. I say that both to lay my cards on the table and hope that you guys don't murder me, but also to illustrate my absolute revulsion for cringe. I don't like cringe at all. And this movie was one enormous cringe. So personally, I fucking hate this. I don't hate this movie. Personally, I don't like this movie for that reason. Like, it's too fucking tense. It's too cringy. But also, I would extend that to a general audience. I feel like if your parents watched this movie, they'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? Why are people watching this? Why are they interested in this? I feel like there's a very small subset of people that would watch this movie and enjoy that tension. And so for that reason, just because there's somebody out there who would like it, there's somebody out there who likes fucking,
goats.
Huh?
Who likes fucking goats?
There are people out there who like fucking Birth of a Nation. Like, I'm not likening this to Birth of a Nation, but I'm just saying, like, just because a small contingent of people like a movie does not make it a good or recommendable movie.
Yeah.
And I think for that reason, I could not recommend this movie to a wide audience.
Okay.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, again, just since we're justifying recommendations and whatnot, the thing that pushed me over the wreck line is the social commentary, and I felt like that element of it was very real. I felt like this was a totally plausible storyline. Even though it was full of caricatures, I know that there are people that live their lives on social media, and, like, that's what they do.
I completely agree. Like, I thought this movie has, like, it's got a lot to dissect. It's got a lot to talk about. I think we've had great conversation based on that. However, I would also throw in the caveat, like, you have to land the plane. And while they provided the fodder, they didn't, like, bring it full circle and put a bow on it. They just left it as this fucking tense mess.
So going back to what I had said, if they ended this, and I'm going to be more specific about it now, if they ended this movie differently with her not dying or her actually dying or whatever variation we talked about, would that change your rec?
Well, your first question was, would it change the genres that I placed on it? Like, would it?
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, moving it from comedy.
Would it change my rec? Probably not, for a couple reasons. One, even if they wrapped it up perfectly the way I would want it to be wrapped up, I still think there's way too much fucking tension in this movie for my own palate and a general audience's palate. And also, I did find this movie, since we're still in dislikes, I found this movie kind of slow, and I found it a little boring.
Okay.
And I don't know if boring is something that, like, everybody would share in terms of, like, my opinion of this movie, but slow and boring were two things that did kind of, like, pop into my head. Also, small gripe, but I struggle when, like, movies sell themselves as something that they're not. And, like, I think, first of all, this movie, without a doubt, was trying to sell itself as a comedy, or let's say a dark comedy. Not only is that listed in the genres, which I disagree with, but also, you look at the cover art for this movie.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pop comedy.
It looks like it's going to be a pop comedy. It looks like it's going to be a raucous good time. And also, like, the cast list would suggest it's going to be, you know, kind of plucky and maybe a little bit awkward, but, like, funny. And it's not. And then the biggest issue is the title. The title, to me, you know, I kind of poked fun at this earlier, but, like, Ingrid Goes West does kind of have a, like, Gidget Goes Hawaiian kind of vibe, or, like, maybe there was a Gidget Goes West. I don't fucking know. Gidget did all sorts of crazy shit in the 60s. She was wild. But, like, Ingrid Goes West really conjures this image of, like, a road trip comedy.
Yeah.
And it is, like, neither a road trip movie nor a comedy, and it's just fucking tense and awkward and makes you feel yucky. And it's just like, don't sell me a bill of goods that's incorrect, right?
Well,
like, don't give me something that's not what you lined it up to be. And they really tried to sell it as something that I don't feel like it is.
I remember the trailers for this movie. And I remember seeing the trailer going, wow, that actually looks interesting. And the trailer was very much painting it like, this is going to be a weird analogy, but stick with me here. Kind of like when a young girl gets, like, obsessed with, like, a boy band or with a pop star. Like how young girls look up to Taylor Swift and they want to be Taylor Swift.
Listen, we all want to be Taylor Swift.
We all want to be Taylor Swift. Like her or hate her, you want to be her. Anyway, the trailer very much painted this like, oh my god, this person is the best person ever and I want to live her life. And it definitely led to the dark undertone of, like, I'm going to become her friend and I'm going to do anything I need to do to become her friend. But it is not that. It is way darker than that.
Yeah.
It is, I'm going to steal her life.
Yeah, and it's also, like, you can see how, like, I'm reluctant to say, like, evil this person is, like, but, like, how demented this person is in terms of their moral compass.
Yeah, she stopped just short of tying somebody up in the basement.
I know, and, like...
Partially
like,
because they're in LA and they don't have a basement.
I feel like there was one scene that illustrated this very, very well. And that was, like, after Ingrid took Dan's car, didn't tell him that she wasn't coming back, fucked him over for his table read, did all of his cocaine,
Fucked up his truck.
fucked up the entire side of his car, and then she gets back and he's like, what the fuck? And he's kind of like chewing her out. And then he, like, leaves. And then the moment he leaves, her phone dings, and it was Taylor, tagged her in a photo, and you see this, like, enormous smile, like, spread across her face, and she's just like, you can read her face, and her face says, totally worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is fucking pathological. Like, the
yeah.
idea that you would fuck somebody over as hard as she fucked over O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character in that scene. And then, like, all of that horrible shit that she did. And she knew it was wrong because she was like, at one point, like, let's go back. And, you know...
And then she was like, Dan's gonna kill me.
Taylor's like, we just got here, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that she knew it was wrong, did it anyway, and then once she got tagged in the photo was like, everything I just did was completely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking horrific person.
Yep. No, she's the winner of the movie, though.
And then she wins. Like,
Yep.
So I'm gonna say something that you guys are gonna laugh at. I did not.
Sorry.
Exactly. I did not like the cinematography.
Hey, nothing really jumped out at me.
I thought it was boring.
I would probably agree with you on like broad strokes. The one thing I do think they did pretty well though was a lot of transitions or like interactions with the phone, which is kind of awkward to do. And there was a lot of like when she was reading Taylor's posts, it would like show the post and then have Taylor reading it out in her fucking like
her
voice.
basic bitch, yeah.
Oh, her basic bitch voice. Like, oh my god, the eggs at this restaurant are the best I've ever had. Hashtag blessed. Angel hands, that kind of fucking bullshit. And I thought that was actually really well done. Like, those were interspersed throughout the film, and I thought it was a creative way to make the phone an active participant in the narrative, which is kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, I agree with you. I thought kind of...
It was bland. It was one of those... It's like a meal that you eat, and you're like, yeah, this is food. Yeah. Like, it wasn't distasteful.
Yeah.
It didn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, but it was just kind of like if you were to eat rice and chicken with salt and pepper and that was it. And you were like, okay, yeah, it's food.
Yeah.
So this is where you guys are going to hate me. That's the only thing I didn't like.
What? Nothing else?
Well, it seemed like you tentatively at least agreed with some of the dislikes that we threw out there.
Yeah, but I will tell you why I'm not including them in my dislikes.
Why?
Because they are all reasons that I would recommend this movie.
Our dislikes?
Yep.
Because of like the craziness of it?
Yep.
I mean, that's
so when I said it was boring and slow, you're like, yeah.
I know some people.
I know some people that like boring and slow.
But see, I didn't think it was boring and slow. I can see why you think that.
Oh, you're saying this is your Stardust?
Yeah. This is my Stardust.
Well, no, we don't get to Stardust by liking something.
Oh.
We get to Stardust by hating something that's a really great film unnecessarily and unjustly.
You're right. You're right. This is not Stardust.
No.
I had him.
I turned him around.
No. You just walked into it. You thought the Stardust was terrible. And that's why you liked it.
I love that that's the angle he's trying to pull.
Yeah, it's kind of, he really walked around the garden there.
You just admitted that Stardust was a terrible movie and you only liked it because it was a bad movie. Leave that in.
Oh my god, look at it on the screen. You see the little thing.
Yes.
Oh god.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to my hell, Mark.
Oh god.
Jesus. All right. No, I will say I did not smell the one that you smelled. This one though.
Yeah, that one hit me too. Yep, I'm getting that as well.
Oh god, there's like notes of malice in it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's hate in that.
There's hate in that. That's a hate fuck. That's a hate fart. Oof.
So, this is going to be weird. I would strongly recommend this movie for a list of reasons.
Whoa. Strongly.
A, I think this is a movie that certain people need to see. And the reason being, like, people that can look at it from a critical standpoint.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of people who need to see this movie are going to take the wrong fucking message away from this movie.
But there are people that need to see this from a critical standpoint. And the reason being, not because they would behave like Ingrid, but because they might have friends or family members that would. And they need to see the reality of what this could turn into, what a social media obsession could turn into.
Yeah.
The other thing, and Colin, I feel like this is really going to pluck your strings.
Pluck my strings, baby.
I really enjoyed the fact that the tension never resolved.
Oh, you fucker. Oh, you fucker.
And here's the thing.
It's the worst.
I also intensely dislike that, but I'm also a little bit of a sadist. And I would recommend this movie to people that actively hate no resolve.
You're like
tension.
A step on my balls with high heels kind of guy.
And I'm like, oh my god, you should totally watch Ingrid Goes West. You're going to be all tensed up for all of this good stuff. And I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't go away.
Yeah, I feel like I need like fucking Quaaludes after this movie.
You got to see how it ends, man.
Right? Yeah, like, oh my god, you're just going to love how it ends. It's so great.
I respect that.
So
I vibe with that.
There's that.
Y'all are bad. Y'all are bad.
Yes.
I also weirdly enjoyed the music for this.
Okay. Yeah.
And part of the reason is they played the same track multiple times, which was like this happy, jaunty, fun keyboard riff, right? And when they first play it, It's seemingly innocuous. She's just scrolling on her phone, liking Instagram posts. And then they play it again when she's only liking Taylor's posts. And then they play it again when she is going to the places that Taylor goes. And then they play it again when she is sitting in the house she just bought across the street from Taylor's house. And it's a through line for the whole movie. And to me, it shows she has been this person the whole time. She did not get worse. She did not get better. This is a disease she has been suffering from. And it will happen again. And I loved that. I thought that was really good. Because they could have gone with the happy, jaunty, and then slightly more morose, and then they could have, like, played it in a minor key to show the transformation that she's actually gone over the deep end and gone past the point of no return. No, they kept it happy the whole time. Like it was this deep level of psychosis that she could not recover from and doesn't see the error of her ways. So I thought that was creative.
I don't think I noticed that, but upon a rewatch, I don't know if I'll rewatch this anytime soon, but that is an interesting point. That is a solid point. Doesn't change my correct opinion, but it is a solid point.
And one of the things that I enjoyed about this is that I got to see a very different shade of Aubrey Plaza than I'm used to. Because Aubrey Plaza always plays April.
Yeah, she definitely, like, has a tendency to exude strength and self-determination and, like, strong resolve.
And self-assuredness.
And this is the opposite of that.
like April is confident in who she is. She knows what she's doing. She does not give a shit about much of anything other than what she wants. And most of what she wants is Andy Dwyer, played by Chris Pratt.
We all want a little bit of Andy
We
Dwyer.
all want a little bit of Andy.
Yeah.
Like, he's the perfect Labrador boyfriend.
Yes, he is that.
Yeah. So the fact that they cast Aubrey Plaza, knowing that she has been made famous for her portrayal of April, and then they cast her in this as this vulnerable, frayed nerve of a person,
Yeah.
was really cool. And I loved seeing something new from Aubrey Plaza.
But one thing that they have in common is that they could both stab you in the eye while you sleep.
And not feel bad about it.
For different reasons.
Yeah.
though,
It would happen. It would happen.
And I just love it. Elizabeth Olsen. She's phenomenal.
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
All right, I will give you a couple things that I did like about this movie, because there actually were many. As much as I would not recommend this movie, there are a couple things I did like. So we already mentioned good montages, right, with the social media reads. This movie was well acted. I mean,
yes.
Everybody acted the shit out of this movie. Like, absolutely no complaints about any of the principal cast and their ability to deliver. They're fucking amazing. It was well written from a dialogue and interaction standpoint. Like, it was reasonably well constructed. I don't like the way it was written in terms of, like, which ending they chose, and like I thought it was a bit slow, but slowness can derive oftentimes from directing than writing.
Right.
And I get the sense that the script itself was like fairly tight and well constructed, and the dialogue was believable and well suited to what they were trying to convey. And then, you know, again, we've already talked about this, but like this movie was a good commentary on how unhealthy social media can be and how you only see what people post.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most unhealthy aspects of social media, yes, there is the sort of like user aspect. Like, you know, it's unhealthy to be on all the time and to, you know, to do these things and to obsess about cultivating your image and all this stuff. But the opposite is true as well. Like, one of the things that you struggle with as a user is it's hard to constantly keep in your mind that everything that you see on social media is curated.
Yep.
Nobody is going to post a video of their child screaming in the morning because the kid wanted cornflakes and all we have is Cheerios.
No,
like,
they're gonna post a video of their child doing something cute, wearing pigtails.
Oh, we're at the zoo and everybody's so happy and they're riding on the little like toy airplane thing and it's so easy to lose sight of the fact that like after 97 fucking Instagram posts from this person, it's so easy to lose track of the fact that like this is not every aspect of this person's life. It's a curated list of things, and you can't compare what you know to be the truth of your own life to what is presented by a third party. And the problem is, we are comparative creatures. We want to categorize things and to compare things.
We are pattern seeking.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for us to look at all of these perfect posts about, like, hashtag blessed and all these great things that are happening, and not be like, well, my life's a fucking shit show compared to that. And it's like, yeah, your life is a shit show compared to that, because you know what they're not showing you? The shit show.
Yep.
They're not, and vice versa. You feel this way whilst simultaneously engaging in the behavior that you're only posting the good stuff from your own life. And somehow you still get, I say somehow like I know and other people don't, but like somehow you still can't get it through your head that like their life is not perfect and your life is not shit. Everybody's life is fucking complicated, but the way we posture and present online can really sell us an unfair, not to use this term twice in one podcast, but an unfair bill of goods with what we can expect out of our own close and interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, like I was once, this is going to be a weird analogy, I was once in a production of Beauty and the Beast on stage.
That's a perfectly reasonable transition.
Yeah,
Go on.
And the show went great and nobody was the wiser, but the entire cast had mono and we were all throwing up backstage between takes. They're not going to show you that. That's not on stage.
I think that could have been when he contracted herpes, Mark. Because you know what they say, 2 on the hand is worth 1 in the bush.
Yeah. Got them duck bumps.
Do we have anything else we liked or didn't like?
I think we pretty sufficiently covered it. The thing that I enjoyed most about it was the social commentary stuff. It felt very relevant, but I think we've thoroughly wrung that out. I'm still sticking with my, I'm still on the other side of the wreck line, but...
How dare you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Come into my house, watch my shitty movie, and come to the wrong conclusion.
Is it your house?
Can you come into my wife's house?
There we go.
There it is.
And you watch my shitty movie and come to the wrong conclusion.
Well, you can own that. Yep. Yeah. We're going to give that one to you.
Are we ready to move on to Don Quixotes?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Marcus, what you got?
Well, I've only got one, and my...
So Mark's got 7.
Yep. My quote is very Mark typical, okay? It's not funny. So, my line
Just
is...
like Mark.
Yeah. No.
Had to.
People have laughed at me before.
It's true. Anthony Starr.
God damn it. You're just jealous. You're jealous of my savantism. Okay.
True story.
So my quote was really quick. This was when Ingrid was trying to leverage O'Shea's character, Dan, to help her kidnap Nikki. And Dan is super obsessed with Batman. He's got it on his license plate. He's always wearing like a Batman t-shirt. That's his jam. And she says to him, I need you to be Batman. And the reason I picked that was it exemplified how she treats everyone in her orbit. She manipulates everyone. She spends her time understanding what drives them so that she can leverage it against them. I felt like that, to me, encapsulated who she was.
Yeah, I do think that really captures her. She's just so...
She's a monster.
Yeah, she's so devoid of moral latitude.
Yeah.
True sociopath.
So I actually have 7 quotes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I'm going to read all 3 of my 7. So all of mine, kind of because I like to choose comedic quotes oftentimes, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. is the only person who delivered anything with any type of levity in this movie.
Yeah.
Again, back to my original point about the comedy thing, like I said, one character saying a comedic line once every 15 minutes. Not a comedy. He was the only one delivering anything fucking comedic.
Yeah.
And he did it really well. So all of my lines are from him. The first one is when she's renting the apartment. She literally has a backpack, like a JanSport backpack, full of cash. And he's like drilling her, like, are you an escort? Are you like a drug dealer? And she keeps saying no. And he goes, yeah, but for real, like, what do you do? Because you have a backpack full of money and, suspicious.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking true. Like, if you saw a person with a backpack full of money, you'd be like, what the fuck?
I need to know. You're going to be sleeping near me.
Yeah, right. Like, you're legally renting an apartment from me. Like, I have to know this.
You are next door.
And then, so at one point, when Nick is blackmailing Ingrid goes to, like, meet him to, like, give him the money, and she hatches the plan to, like, convince Dan to do the kidnapping, blah, blah, blah. And the plan starts with her having, like, injuries.
Yeah.
So she, like, shows up, her face is all fucking punched up, and she's like, you know, it was Nick, and blah, 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 blah. And Dan cannot believe that it's Nick, because he met him one time, and they kind of connected, and he goes, I've seen him do dirt. We were supposed to go to Six Flags together.
Fucking unbelievable.
Like, so good.
He knew this guy for part of one day, and he's like, yeah, dude, we're friends. Like, what the fuck?
Six Flags. Six Flags. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
And then the last one was either as they were pulling up to abduct Nick or as they were driving away, Dan is having this, attack of conscience, and he's like, I'm Batman. I don't do shit like this. I arrest them, take them to Arkham Asylum, and they get out possibly after a month or so, and then the cycle continues.
He's so self-aware.
He's so real for that, too.
That was 7.
Oh, yeah.
How many you got?
Weirdly, I have 7 as well.
If we're rounding up, right?
Yeah.
God damn, I was worried he had
to the
8.
nearest 7.
I was worried he had 8.
Yeah,
right.
I was terrified.
I almost did.
Don't you fucking dare.
I made some cuts.
Don't you fucking dare.
So after the cuts, I do have 3 that I'm going to read, and the other 4 are a secret. So this first quote that I have, Ingrid needs to borrow his truck because Taylor needs somebody to pull her trailer out to their property in Joshua Tree.
Taylor's trailer.
Yep, Taylor's trailer. Band name?
Band name.
Ooh, okay.
Taylor's.
I wasn't even thinking of that. But,
It's the alliteration.
Yeah, Taylor's trailer. I like it.
I'm not going,
No.
but he's got one.
Yeah, I don't want to look in it. I don't want to see what's inside.
Juggalo Tim's inside.
Oh, shit.
That's a real person,
And Deep Doug is driving.
Oh, you never go full dive.
Never go full Deep Doug. Sean Penn, I am Sam. That was a Tropic Thunder joke. Anyway, so she's trying to convince him to loan her his truck. And she's like, seriously, I'll do anything. And he's like, anything? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, I need someone to be Catwoman in my table read. And this is the line. She goes, don't you have anyone else that could do that? And he comes back with, don't you have another truck you could borrow? Like, ooh.
It's good.
And the next quote is immediately after she returns his truck after she ran it along a guardrail and completely fucked up the entire side of it. He's like grilling her and getting up in her face and accusing her and like letting her have the business, which she fully deserves. And then he lets her get off the hook with it, which still pisses me off, but whatever. And he goes, man, you're supposed to be Catwoman. You ain't nothing but Two-Face.
I almost took that. That was a
So
good one.
good.
Which, like, what's so funny is, like, I heard it in the film, and I heard it when we were, like, discussing quotes prior to, like, starting this recording. But, like, having heard it a third time, I'm starting to get the more, like, metaphorical reference. Like, it's comedic.
Right.
But it's also, like, kind of metaphorical. Like, she literally operates with 2 faces.
Yeah.
Like, she's got this really fucking dark underside. And then, she's got this kind of, like, Harvey Dent style, like, I'm just innocent Ingrid, yeah.
I'm just the mayor.
Right, just... Yeah, dude.
She's a happy-go-lucky family guy.
All right. I think I already gave this movie props for writing, but fucking props to
nailed
whoever
it.
wrote that line.
My last line, so they're in this panel van with ski masks on, about to abduct Nikki. And right after his Arkham Asylum line, his last words before exiting the vehicle to perpetrate said crime were, man, Tupac said there'd be days like this. I fucking lost it.
Yeah. It was like a sideline, too. He just kind of like says it, and then like there's a scene transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Are we learned?
I believe so.
I think we gotta rate this bitch.
Ready to rate this bitch?
Riggedy,
Yeah.
riggedy.
All right, so we're ready to rate.
Yeah.
What do we got?
All right. I'm gonna go 5.8 hashtags.
Oh, see, that wasn't my metric, but that was my number.
I mean,
You can keep it.
It's
I'm
not.
gonna keep.
Yeah, that's not. He didn't call the number.
I'm gonna stick with 5.8. Savior of dog.
Well, that's really specific.
Savior of dogs.
Okay. Well, it was given to her as a title.
Well, at one point, like in the last scene with Taylor, she's leaving her a voicemail. She's like, "It's me, Ingrid, purveyor of the arts, savior of dogs," and like just going over all the shit that she's done to get close to Taylor. So yeah, 5.8, savior of dogs.
I am going to give this movie a 5.0 squad goals.
Nice. A steep drop off, but fair.
I was kind of between 4.9 and 5.0. I kind of wanted to go 4.9 just because I felt like I'm not wrecking this. But I do think it was a well-executed film.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think it's to my taste and to, like, many other people's taste. So I can't knock it for its quality, which I want to. I feel like below 5, I'm starting to knock for quality. And I feel like that's unjust.
Yeah, see, I was leaning on like 5.6, but I punched it up just a little because I did have a good time watching this, and it was well made.
Well, you had a good time watching it because you were next to me.
Yeah.
And I'm a delight.
And you weren't blasting your ass everywhere during the movie.
Yes.
It was only after the movie.
Only after the movie.
Once we started recording.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
So we're done, right?
Yep.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Peace.
See you guys later!
Wait!
What? What?
What?
What is it?
Oh, we still need to do the scene score.
Scene score.
Scene score!
Okay, for those of you in cyberspace, you couldn't see it, but Mark actually did a pirouette.
I feel like it came through.
I feel like they're not going to believe us, even though we're very trustworthy.
100%.
They're not going to believe us. He actually did spin.
Yeah.
Right before he chimed in on the scene score.
I watched it happen.
I feel like I'm not even going to believe us when I re-listen to this episode.
Right?
Like
I'm
10
gonna be like,
episodes
did
from
that
now.
really happen?
Yeah, like a year from now. Like, nah.
I think you could hear in your guys' voices when you guys got a little more excited. Or yeah, it was a trembling.
That was a different connotation.
I leaned into that a little too hard.
Yeah, well, you could call it a duck bump, but I saw it.
Well, you know what they say.
Guys had a couple of duck bumps.
2 on the hand is worth 1 in the bush.
It's never gonna die.
It's not. That's how you get the Goopadoop, friend.
Oh, fucking.
Well, I thought that was when you squeezed it too hard.
You squeeze it too hard and you get the Goopadoop?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So the Goopadoop does not derive from the bumps on the hand, just to be clear. It comes directly from the bush.
Yes. Yeah. And if you squeeze the duck bumps you have in the bush, that's how you get the Goopadoop.
That's how you get the Goopadoop.
Yep.
Okay.
There are a lot of ways you could get the Goopadoop.
Yeah, sad grapes.
Yep.
Among them.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Okay. Thank you to everybody who responded to our movie familiarity survey. Those of you who didn't, you're dead to us. We fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Jackson said that to me. I love you, and I would like you to participate in the future.
No, I'm mad about it.
But he leaned into it, Mark, and I appreciate that. Average familiarity with this movie was a 1.7 out of 10.
Okay.
Low, but not unheard of.
A little higher than we have.
Yeah. Our average score was a 5.5. The scene score, with the familiarity below 5 out of 10, would punch it up to a 6.4.
Okay.
Seems a bit high.
It's higher than I feel it deserves, which is why I rated it the way I did.
Agreed. It's definitely one of those, like, if anything we said intrigued you, I think you should try to track this movie down. Because, again, I waffled on, like, I didn't like it, but it was well executed.
I didn't hate it.
So if you weren't turned off by the idea of this movie, by what we described, fucking, yeah, track it down and see it. But I would say in my opinion, the sort of, like, final answer would be in the low 5s.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we learned?
Yes, we are.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, that's all for the All Corrupt review. Thank you for listening. If you have any ideas for movie reviews that we can do, or if you want to get involved and contribute to the scene score and get a peek at upcoming movies, you can get a hold of us by emailing us at 3. That is the number 3, menandabasement@gmail.com. You can also get us on our website. That's tmaab.podbean.com. TMAAB stands for 3 Men and a
Basement.
Also, please be sure to check out the upcoming tour. We've got Portugeezer.
Oh yeah, you can't miss that one.
No, he smells both. Oh, come on, that was wetter than I wanted it to be.
Was it wetter than you wanted it to be, Jackson?
Significantly.
You preferred it more dry.
Yeah, I like the dusty ones.
More particles?
Yeah.
They disperse. It's like pocket sand.
Yeah.
Cha! Portugueser. He's been touring for a while, doing mostly European tours. He's an older fellow. He's from Europe, but he's not limited to touring just in Europe. And Portugueser, the poor man, has somehow managed to hook up with Deep Doug.
Yeah.
You don't want to hook up with Deep Doug.
No, you don't hook up with Deep Doug. Deep Doug hooks up with you.
And that's how you get the duck bumps.
You don't like that either, though.
No.
Oh, those are the Doug bumps.
Oh, yeah, the Doug bumps are different.
Yeah. The Doug bumps, they'll break you. They'll break you.
Pop.
And most of this is happening in Taylor's trailer, which is the third act.
Yeah, the final.
The final
Closer.
act.
The final trailer.
The last trailer you see before you die.
And then you die of the goopa doop.
Of Doug deeping you. They're all on tour now. They're all on tour now. You can also find us on iTunes and Google Play or wherever you find your podcasts. And until then, I'm Colin McLeod.
Mark up.
Action Jackson.
And we'll see you in cyberspace.
Resner.
2 in the hand, worth 1 in the bush.